What's going on, everyone? So the Sacramento Kings are going to have a real question on their hands when it comes to Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is going to be an unrestricted free agent who was just coming off of a 4-year, $85 million a year deal. He was making an average of $21.5 million per year. He is not worth that, especially in the new CBA. And Sacramento is going to be one of those teams that have to make some decisions, right? And so Harrison Barnes very well could end up being the odd man out. This is a guy that has 10 plus years of NBA experience. This is a guy that's been in the NBA Finals, won championships, hits big shots, is a two-way guy, plays defense, plays both sides of the ball, is a 15-5 guy who can also give you a couple assists here and there, does a lot of the dirty work, can shoot 85% from the free throw line, which is really nice. He has an EFG of 56%. He shoots 55% from 2-point range, and then he shoots 38% from 3. He is what many teams want and look for in a 3-and-D style small forward. He's 6'8", 225, still only 31 years old, can play the 3, can play the 4. He has a lot of value. Problem is with the new CBA, like I said, I say this all the time, and you're going to hear me say this and continue to say this because the new CBA changes a lot, is that now you are a max guy or you are a, $5-10 million guy, if not like a vet minimum guy. Those like $18 to $22 million a year contracts are very likely going to be that of yesterday. Maybe some team that needs to hit the cap floor or something like that, maybe they throw some money at Harrison Barnes. That is a real possibility. Maybe Sacramento does decide, hey, you know what? Let's pay him. We need to keep him. Or maybe he takes a discount to sign, right? Again, maybe he signs 4 years for $60 million and he's making $15 million a year annually, which is where I think I think he's about a 15 to 18 million a year guy. But now with the new CBA, he's probably closer to like a 12 to 15 million a year guy, right? You got to take that tax, I guess, so to speak. So with that, I really do expect Harrison Barnes to get somewhere, and we'll just call it the 15 million range. Now maybe Sacramento goes, hey, that's perfect. We want him. We want to run it back. Let's keep him. And he stays and he signs. But if not, then I really think he's a guy that the Lakers should take a look at. Now the Lakers can get to about 14 million in cap space, and they could have their full mid-level exception, which is around 12 million. So if he gets, say, his offers and his market is around 15 million, does he take, say, 3 million less to go to a contender in the Los Angeles Lakers and say, hey, I could be a key component there. I could be the starting 3. Which he would be an upgrade over Jared Vanderbilt at this time. And now you got, your front court of LeBron, AD, and Harrison Barnes with Austin Reeves and maybe D'Angelo Russell, unless they end up trading D'Angelo Russell. That's pretty good, right? And you'd still have Jared Vanderbilt. You'd still have Rui Hachimura. That's a solid starting 5. I think Harrison Barnes is an upgrade. I think he's a guy that could really kind of round out the Lakers roster nice. He's a veteran. He has experience. He's been on contending teams. He's won championships. He's hit big shots. This is a guy that can be a real factor for a roster. And I think he could be a real factor for the Lakers. I mean, again, Lakers could really use 6'8", athletic, sizable, two-way wing. Right? A guy that can score at all 3 levels, a guy that can defend, a guy that can do a little bit of everything. I see so many people that are like, oh man, I'd love a Jeremy Grant, or I'd love, an OG Anunoby, or I'd love, Harrison Barnes might actually be gettable. Again, couple factors that go into it. What is his market for one? And do the Sacramento Kings want to pay him? Because those are 2 things that are very important when talking. Because again, Sacramento has Sabonis. They have Fox. You're going to have Kevin Huerter. You're going to have Malik Monk. When his contract's up, he's going to want to be paid more. I mean, if you sign Harrison Barnes to 4 years, $80 million, The Sacramento Kings in a year could be finding themselves in a very tough situation. Very tough situation. So those are all things to kind of keep in mind when you're talking about Harrison Barnes and the Sacramento Kings. Now, I think Sacramento wants to keep him. He very well may want to stay in Sacramento. But is that going to be the best decision for both of them? And then if he does hit free agency and he does hit the open market, what does that market look like? If that market is, if a team is willing to pay him 4 years, $20 million, then sure, good luck to Harrison Barnes. Congrats, get your bag. I ain't mad at you. But if that market is somewhere in the 15 million range, the Lakers can get there. The Lakers can get that money, or at least close to where it could be an interesting conversation for Harrison Barnes. And then even then, with his age, he's still, even after LeBron, would only be 33. And then you could have a front court of Rui Hachimura, Anthony Davis, and Harrison Barnes. I think Harrison Barnes fits. Like, Lakers need a couple things, right? They need another perimeter defender. They need three-point shooting. They need some more athleticism, some more size. Harrison Barnes checks off all of that. Athleticism, shooting, defense, size. I mean, he does. He checks off all of those boxes. And he's still young enough to be an important piece for the next 4 years, right? So if the Lakers can sign him to a 4-year, whatever, $60 million or 4-year, $48 million, something like that, they could get something like that for Harrison Barnes, then so be it. Or even if it's just kind of like a 1-year thing, right? Like, the only teams that have cap space are the tanking teams. I don't want to be on a tanking team. I'll take $12 million or whatever. I'll take the exception. I'll take the mid-level exception. Go play with the Lakers. Try to contend for a championship this year, and then see where that goes, and then make my decision accordingly. You've seen plenty of players do stuff like that, right? Where they'll have that kind of stopgap season where they just kind of go to a team where, they might take a little bit of a discount, and then, because look, if he plays great on the Lakers, he might actually get even more money, right? Like, let's say his market right now is $15 million. If he goes to the Lakers and he puts up 15 and 6 and Lakers win an NBA championship and he's a big part of that, all of a sudden he might go from 15 million back to 18 to 20 million, right? I mean, you saw what Malik Monk, who's one of his teammates, did. Lonnie Walker went from being a vet minimum guy to a guy that is very likely going to get $7 to $10 million a year. So it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. I wouldn't get my hopes up on it. It's not something that I lock it in. It's, Harrison Barnes coming to Lakers. I don't think it's anything like that. But it is, again, these like mid-tier guys, these guys that are getting these mid-tier contracts, where it's not like the low end, it's not the high end, it's like right in the middle. Those mid-tier guys are not going to get what they once did. You're going to see a lot of guys that were making 18 to 20 million a year, maybe even close to 25 million a year, all of a sudden getting 15, $12 million contracts. And you're going to be like, what? They Milwaukee got that guy for 12 million a year? How? That guy's a 20 million a year guy. You're going to see a lot of that, especially in the coming years. Maybe not necessarily this year, because this year is kind of like the feel-out year. A lot of teams are going to kind of be stuck in limbo, not really knowing what to do. Things are going to have to play out a little bit. But I'm telling you, come like the next year or two, you're going to see more and more of those, because a lot of these contracts are going to drop, because teams are going to say, I can't pay Harrison Barnes $20 million because that'll put me in the next cap apron, and now I'm stuck, and now we're screwed. And now we have no flexibility. We have no ways to improve the roster. We have no ways to do anything. This is our roster. Unless it's a team that wins an NBA championship. So those are all things to keep in mind. So again, guys like Harrison Barnes, Brook Lopez, guys like that are, in the middle of the pack payment-wise, that you might look at and go, man, there's no way the Lakers could get that guy. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if the Lakers end up signing a guy or two. Right? Because you're going to see guys, and even like guys that are making, say, 12 million. Those guys all of a sudden are getting contract offers for 6 to 7 million. Those are guys Lakers could sweep up. So all of those things are important to keep in mind when you're thinking of like, God, who would I like to see on the Lakers? I think Harrison Barnes would be a great fit. I think he's a guy that fits everything the Lakers need, want, all of that stuff. Again, you'd have one of the best overall front courts in the league. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Harrison Barnes, and then you have Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt backing up. You go find like a legit center. Can you go get like an Andre Drummond or something like that at a vet minimum? Imagine you have your first wave of LeBron, AD, and Harrison Barnes, and your second wave is Rui, Drummond, and Jared Vanderbilt. Like, good luck. Good luck. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Would you love Harrison Barnes? Would you not? Do you think that he sticks with Sacramento? Again, Sacramento very likely might re-sign him. But just food for thought. Just having a conversation because I'm looking at going through all the kind of like free agents and stuff, and also it depends on what the Lakers do. Do the Lakers operate as an above the cap team? Because if that's the case, then they won't have as much flexibility. So, but anyway, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know.